What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Bourbon of the Week. My name's Chris. I'm going to be your host for today. And before we get started, I do have to say my deepest condolences to all of the New York Giants fans out there. Listen, you made something out of nothing. You weren't supposed to be there, but you know who didn't? Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowgirls. Listen, wild card weekend, congratulations. Couldn't take care of the Niners. Don't worry, we'll take care of them for you. If you want to become an Eagles fan, open invitation for the rest of the season, but you got to click that like and that subscribe button right here. But let's get into barrel number 33 from Barrell Craft Spirits. That's right, this is Barrell Bourbon Batch number 33. I've heard so many good things about this, so I wanted to make sure we got it on the ranking sheet. Let's try this out. Everybody knows before we get started, time for the traditional sip. Cheers, y'all. It's tasty. So first things first, a couple of things that they tell us on the bottle here. This is batch number 33, as I already mentioned. This is bottle number 1444, in case you care. This does say 5 years old, although online it does say it's a marriage of 5, 6, 7, and 9-year-old whiskey. So they have to put the youngest whiskey age on here, so it is 5 years old on here. Coming in at 116.6 proof, then we're going to talk about everything else as we go. You know how we do it, price, taste, drinkability. Let's get into it. So you may or may not know this, but we like to start with drinkability on this channel. How much ethanol kick comes along with the proof behind this? 116.6 proof. Nothing to sneeze at, right? Or is it, because it does have a little bit of black pepper in this? But the proof on this, I think, seems a little low. I think if I would blind this, I would think it was a little bit higher. Maybe I would think it's right around 115, 116, depending on what I'm going up against. But this does seem a little hot. Let's take another sip and see. So I will say this is my second glass of whiskey for the night. Normally the first glass will hit you a little bit harder. Normally the neck pour will hit you a little bit harder. This is neither of those things. It's had some time to air out. It's had some time to sit in the glass as well. For 116.6 proof, which is cask strength on this, the way that Barrell does things, is a little hot. I think it drinks a little bit over that 116.6 proof. Now there is a high rye mash bill on this, mixed in with a high corn mash bill on this. So I will take that into account, which is the reason why I like when people tell me the mash bills, just so I can get it through my mind whether this is supposed to be spicy or if this is just an ethanol kick. I will still say though, it seems a little hot. One more sip and we'll give it a score. Yeah, it makes the tongue tingle. When it hits the back of the throat, it almost makes you want to cough a little bit. Makes your cheeks kind of water up a little bit. It is a little bit hot. I don't think it's anything outrageous. I probably would have said in like that 120 to 125 range. Normally, if it drinks at its proof, we say 8.0. I'm going to put this a little bit under 8. I'm going to say like a 7.65 when it comes to drinkability on this. Nothing crazy. I do think 116 is obviously a high proof, but I do think I've had things that drink a little bit easier and are even a little bit higher proof. So I will say 7.65 seems fair. Next thing we're going to get into is taste on this bottle, and that's where this truly shines. Everything about this glass when it comes to the taste profile is what I love about bourbon. What they have is a bunch of high rye mash bill bourbons. They have a bunch of high corn mash bill bourbons. They blend them together in a vat and let them sit for 2 months. They don't water it down, so you're not taking any of the taste profile out of that. And that's what you're getting in barrel number 33. And whatever barrels they're using, it's working on this glass. Now, if I remember this correctly, they have access to over 25 different distilleries inventory when it comes to whiskey. So basically, they have 25 different distilleries sending them their best stuff, and then they're bottling it at cask strength, which means some of your favorite distilleries, Heaven Hill, Wild Turkey, anything like that, who's proofing their stuff down, they're giving you the best of their best stuff at cask strength, which is exactly what I'm looking for when it comes to a whiskey. Now, this particular bottle says distilled in Kentucky, Indiana, and Tennessee. We can assume the Indiana is MGP or Ross and Squibb, but Kentucky and Tennessee could be a whole bunch of stuff. Could be George Dickel, could be Jack Daniels. Kentucky's got you know how many distilleries in it. So again, this is the best of the best. I'm going to take one more sip. I've been ranting on taste. Let's try this out and give it a score. So I have to assume the high corn content is giving me all of the sweetness that I love on the beginning of this. A little bit of that butterscotch, that caramel, that vanilla, everything that you love from a high corn mash bill. But then they blend it with that high rye, which is giving me that black pepper, that cinnamon, that spice that comes along with this so nicely. And it's that roller coaster that we always talk about, a little bit of everything for everybody. And having that 5 to 9-year-old whiskey in it gives it a little bit of age behind it. Absolutely love this. Let's give this a great score when it comes to taste. I'm going to give it 9.42. I think that's fair, 9.42 when it comes to taste. And last but certainly not least, we're going to get into price on this. And I think the price on this is absolutely fair. This is a $90 bottle of whiskey. Nothing outrageous, right? We've seen the whiskey world, right? Everything's moving up. Nothing's going to be $40, $50, $60 anymore when it comes to special releases. Now, is this a special release? I don't think so. It's just one of their batched releases, but it happens to be one of the better ones. There's a lot of people who have tried a lot more barrel bourbon than I have who say this is some of the best stuff that they put out to date. So I've got to say for $90, I will consider this a special release. You're getting cash strength from some of the best stuff. You're getting 2 great mash bills blended together from a company that knows how to blend. And at $90, I don't think it's a disappointment. It definitely lives up to the hype. One more sip, we'll give it a score when it comes to price. Listen, even after finishing this second glass, I have to agree with myself when it comes to drinkability, and of course I'm going to agree with myself, right? It's my opinion, but I will say this still drinks hot. If you're not looking for something that's super hot, even at 116 proof, definitely stay away from this one. But when it comes to price at $90, I don't hate it at all. We're going high 8s, maybe low 9s. Let's just go like 9.01 when it comes to price on this. But listen, I'm going to pour up a little bit more. I'm going to add up these scores, and let's send it over to this week's Bourbon Bomb of the Week to learn about the founder, Joe Beatrice. So believe it or not, Joe himself actually never had a whiskey background. He actually started in the 90s where everybody else who wanted to make a bunch of money and knew how the internet was about to explode started. And he started with a company called Blue Dingo Digital, and what they did was help companies navigate the internet. Now, when I read that, what that said to me was this was a smart guy, right? He knew what the market was, he knew where the internet was about to go, and he capitalized on it. He did the same thing here with Barrell Bourbon because he didn't go into distilling, he went into sourcing and actually barreling this stuff. And to me, that was probably a harder venture at the time because not a lot of people were doing that. Not a lot of people, when he started this, bought barrels, bottled it themselves, especially at cash strength from some of these well-known distilleries already, and put it out on the market in a niche market, which is what they control right now, if you ask me. I think Barrell Bourbon kind of controls that sourcing niche market, especially with their cash strength releases, and it was absolutely genius for him to hop in when he did. So while today it seems like every brother, sister, and mother is doing this sourcing and bottling thing, this is where it got its start. And if you ask me, it's another genius move by this gentleman, Joe Beatrice. And I would love to meet him one day just to talk about what he thinks the future of bourbon looks like. Because if anybody's going to know, it's this guy. The more that I learn about these founders, co-founders, people involved in this industry, the more that I want to meet them, the more that I want to talk to them to learn about the history. I'm new to this world, don't get me wrong. I've only been in this 3 or 4 years. There are people, I see videos and pictures out there, Jason and Mash and Drum, Scott from My Bourbon Journey, the Bourbon Junkies, ADHD Whiskey, going, meeting these master distillers, meeting these master blenders, interviewing them on their channels. That's my goal, right? That's what I want more than anything out of this YouTube channel, is to be able to have a platform where I can talk to these people and let them talk to you, because it just seems like such an awesome market with so much history that I want to learn about it. But for this bottle right here, let's get to that. This bottle came in at an 8.69. I can't call it 8.70 because it's 8.69333 repeating, so we're going to call it 8.69. Not a bad spot for this bottle at all. I thought it was going to be a little bit higher, I won't lie, but that drinkability held it back just a little bit. It definitely sips hot, so if you don't like it hot, don't drink this bottle. But listen, if you've made it this far in the video, make sure you click that like and that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. We're trying to get to 5,000 subscribers, and we're trying to do it soon. Make sure you check me out on Instagram at Bourbon of the Week. Go click that follow button over there. Check out our Patreon page, that link in the description below. Come chat with us 24/7 on Discord, that link in the description below. Please don't drink and drive. Always drink responsibly, and stay healthy, stay happy, stay drinking. Cheers, y'all. Joe Beatrice.